Garnish it you can. The world's most popular online encyclopedia is set to go on strike on Wednesday because of the anti-piracy bill that's being pushed through the US Congress. It's designed to protect copyrighted material, but the fear is that it's too vague and could lead to greater censorship. Investigative journalist Tony Gosling wanted to talk about that with us in London. Hi there, Tony. Good to see you. Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales said that the planned US laws would, quote, harm the free and open internet and bring about new tools for censorship and international websites inside the United States. Do you think the bills really are that worrying that are being proposed?
Well, it's certainly very, very scary, this bill, but I'm actually a bit of good news for a change, because it looks like all the activism around SOPA, this Stop Online Piracy Act in the United States, has borne some fruit since Barack Obama has come out now saying that he would veto the bill if it goes through. So, I mean, this is something positive to say here, but certainly it was a very frightening idea. I mean, if you're talking about piracy, it's called the Stop Online Piracy Act. This, who are the real pirates? Who are the big guns here in the media world and on the internet? The answer is the people with the big money who are backed by the banking system, Wall Street, etc. Those are the real, I think, the real problem, because what's going on here is an attempt to actually take down the links to the sites which are showing this material. There is existing law which is perfectly adequate to actually stop people who are doing genuine piracy. That is, what you do is you actually take out a court case against the people who are hosting the pirated material. This act is an attempt to actually stop people even linking to. I mean, what we've seen, for example, the last few days is even Rupert Murdoch coming out and talking about Google as the pirates, Google piracy. This is absolute nonsense, of course, because all Google is simply doing is linking to other sites. Now, I think, you know, most people who use the internet are intelligent enough to go to a particular site and then make their own mind up about what they do. The other fact of the matter is, if you're looking at, for example, video content on YouTube, what you do is, if some of your material is being used on there, you contact YouTube and they will take it down if you can show you own that material. So the existing law is already there. What this attempt was, an attempt to actually shut down debate. And we've seen over the last week or so here in Britain a court case with a chap called Richard O'Dwyer, who's 23 years old, who was simply linking to material and making reference to that material. It looks like, is possibly going to be extradited to America. Now, anyway, copyright should be a civil offence which goes through the civil courts. It's much less draconian. What they're trying to do here with this act is, or they were anyway, until it looks like it's been killed now, is to actually take out people who even talk about this material. So really, this is the latest skirmish in a massive information war for our hearts and minds, and I'm glad to say this one is a battle the people have won.
Okay, but if it did get through, there's the whole issue of human rights here, isn't it? The whole thing about the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
Well, of course, but I mean, I think the other thing is that in cases like this, the industry, the big guns, the big media, big mainstream media people backed by massive amounts of money will be back in the future. And let's not forget that they also use copyright to actually close down material. For example, they buy up documentaries, movies, things like this, and then they stop the distribution of them. Now, this is not what the original documentary makers often want. You know, for example, you can try and get hold of some material, and you find that it's nowhere available in the world. So a lot of the ways that the owners of this material, the big media companies, what they're doing is they're actually stopping some documentaries, buying up those documentaries and then basically closing them down. So you know, we have to be really careful of the way that the power of money can buy up the material that we want to see, we need to see, in order to understand the world. And actually, this is good news, because it means that there's a little bit less of a chance that the future media in the Western world will be turned into some sort of awful propaganda system where only the big companies decide what we see and hear.
All right, Tony, you said it's self-regulating, but there are a lot of people that say there needs to be tighter restrictions. Surely, I mean, a lot of this information has been wantonly handed around without permission or payment. There have been lots of cases about that in the past. Surely a bit of tightening is needed, isn't it?
Well, I think what needs to happen is we need to use the existing laws. Actually, I think they're perfectly adequate in most cases. And also, responsible big providers like Google and YouTube, they have perfectly good systems. If someone is having their material taken away, removed or whatever, and just pirated around the internet, as they call it, then all you do is you contact those people, you explain that this is your material, and they're actually very good at identifying that stuff and taking it down where necessary. This whole proposal from the industry is really because the internet is eating in to their monopoly on what we see in here, and I actually like to see the internet do that more and more in the future, because we're getting a bum deal from the mainstream media in the Western world. What they're doing is they're spinning stuff far too much, and what's happening is that some of our mainstream media newsrooms are becoming choke points for the truth. The truth simply isn't coming out because they've decided what messages they want the public to hear in the Western world.
Always free speech guaranteed from you, Tony Gosling, investigative journalist. Thanks for joining us there from London.